Our season rewind continues with the men's 2025 Under-23 World Champion, Britain's rising star Oliver Conway. We're also joined by photographer and USAT Development's Tommy Zafiris to get the inside scoop on the processes and rapid progressions that have seen Conway soar from Junior European Cups in 2024 to a World Cup gold and WTCS Carla Vivari power moves just 12 months on, as well as that brilliant world title in the championship finals Wollongong.
Yeah, Doug messaged me 30 minutes ago. He's like, can you jump on? I was like, sure.
Yeah, that's probably my bad because I was busy with sort of uni last week and I forgot to reply to the email as I needed to do yesterday morning. So yeah, sorry about that. But
we've all been there, so it makes sense to me.
I'm so bad at admin and everything. I just always put it off, like say I'm going to do it tomorrow and then I never do, and then just forget about it. And so yeah, sorry about that.
Has it been a bit all-encompassing for you for the last couple of weeks then, has it?
Yeah, I mean, since coming back from Worlds, it's sort of just been for 3 or 4 weeks, just uni was full on because I had to catch up with the 3 weeks I didn't do. And then I had tons of coursework due. And so it's just like trying to fit training around that as well was quite tough. But I think I finally done all the coursework now. So should be a bit more relaxed now.
Totally not fair, is it? Getting punished for becoming world champion. Like, okay, you got to catch up now, Ollie. Hang on. Can I not just show you my medal? No.
But to be fair, the uni, they're pretty good. They've got like a good scholarship program and all that. I just wasn't very good on keeping on top of the lectures when I was out there. So I just wanted to keep focusing on the race, to be honest. And I think, yeah, sort of wasn't too ideal coming back, but it's all sort of worked out well now. So
I think everyone's spearing when you're out of school and you don't have to manage both of these things. It's going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I'm not doing a full year at uni. So I'm doing like half a year because I'm splitting the years. So it's a bit easier with training and everything. It's not too bad. It's just because I had so much coming back. So
Nottingham, a good HQ for triathlon, right? I had to send Tommy a little picture of Hugo Milner's unbelievable haircut that I just found when he was at Harvard University. This like enormous hair.
Yeah.
But he's Derby, right? So, but he doesn't train with you?
He used to, but I think 2-3 months ago he stopped training with us, which is quite sad because I mean he didn't really do any of the run sessions, but he did quite a few of the swim and bike. So, and he's really strong in the pool. So we lost one of our sort of top swimmers, but to be honest, I'm not really that great in the pool anyway. So there's tons of people faster than me. So it's I don't really have a problem with being anywhere near the front in the pool. So yes,
taper to Christmas now for you, is it?
Yeah, well, uni wise, but I think we've got exams straight away after. I mean, it lets me train a bit more because when I don't have to go in for lectures, it sort of saves quite a lot of time. Just walking to uni and everything, so I can just sort of plan when I want to revise and when I want to train. So
it's the myth of off season is not quite what it's built up to be then.
Yeah, to be honest, I think last year I didn't really bother with it. I just trained through. It was good in a way at the start of the season, and then I picked up a bit of an injury sort of mid-season, so I had to take I only took a week off running, but it was just a bit. I think I just went for too long, didn't give my body enough time for rest. So I think this year I had sort of a week where I only ran like 2-3 times or biked a few times and then sort of got back into it then. But after that, like I think last year I just went straight back to sort of a 20-25 hour week.
Did you used to be quite strict with yourself, Tommy, or did you like always go, right, I'm going to take time off here and try and cut it out? Or
so as a younger athlete, you feel like taking time off is a negative thing, or like it's going to set you back, or like you don't want to go back to zero and have to like build back up. But then when you get older, you realize like how important it is and like how you can extend, because the seasons just keep getting longer and longer. Like you'll start in March, and then before it was ending in like September, and then it's like October, and then now it's moving to like November. And like if you want to make it through the whole season and like performing at a very high level, you need to take that break. Like you need to rest your body and stuff. And so, yeah, when I was younger, it would have been nice to have realized that earlier. But yeah, it's nice working in the development space with younger athletes where you can kind of like showcase, especially like I'm just gonna have them listen to this podcast of you just saying that. Like, I'm gonna take rest because it benefited me more, or I don't have to worry about like an injury halfway through the season of the year or whatever. Because young athletes, they just want to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and not take their foot off the gas, you know. And so, yeah, as you get older, if you're able to mature in that sense, the younger you are, I think the better off your career is going to be. So, very smart move. Yeah, taking time off.
I think I'd still do a bit of training on Christmas, to be honest, because otherwise I just feel a bit like I'm really earned the Christmas dinner. So I'll probably still go for a bike or run during the day, but it's a bit more relaxed and sort of just spending time with family. Because to be honest, like most of the year I'm at uni, just because I think the training at home, I don't really have that much of a swim squad anymore. And it's just a lot easier training with the uni squad. So I'd say probably I'm only home around 2 to 3 weeks a year, and half of that time sort of just before races or after. So I think like after Worlds, I had a lab the day after I came back. So I just spent the evening at home and then I was back to uni sort of the day after. So I didn't really have a lot of time at home to sort of celebrate Worlds with the family, which is wasn't ideal, but I guess I sort of got uni to do. So
Where is your family from, like compared to university?
I'm from Oxford and university is at Nottingham, so it's only 2 hours, so I could probably go home a bit more, but I just think it's easier sort of, especially when uni's on, it takes a bit of time going home and coming back, and so I just stay here pretty much. Well, I think I have stayed here since Worlds, and I'm not going back till I think end of semester's in 2 weeks, so.
And is your family pretty understanding of what you do and stuff? Like, is your family athletes? Because I know it's hard sometimes if you have a portion of your family that doesn't understand professional athletics, and like then there's the families who have done sport at a professional level and they like really understand that 2 hours driving is a huge amount. Like when you're training full time and you're studying, it's a crazy like shift of like planning a vacation almost just to do like one little trip like that. So how's your family with like the understanding of that?
Yeah, I think they're pretty okay with it, to be honest. I think my mum and dad, they never did anything sort of a professional level, but they just do a bit of running and biking from time to time. So I think I sort of got into the sport because I used to sort of, I think it's probably when I was 5 or 6, just going on runs and sort of rides with my dad outside and all that. So yeah, I think he's all good with it. I call him sort of every day pretty much. So yeah, I think they're all understanding about it.
Yeah, it's good. It's always hard to like convince people that work a normal job. Somebody else might be able to do the same job and like cover for you if you leave for like the weekend. But when it's fitness of your own body, like you can't let somebody else do that. Like you always got to stay on top of it. But I'm on board with you. Like on Christmas and Thanksgiving, like in the US, like always had to work out, have to do some sort of exercise that day, and like try to make it a family thing. But yeah, for the most part, it's like now I got to get a good training session in because dinner, dessert's gonna be crazy for the next 3 days. So
yeah.
You know, obviously we want to get to 2025, being able to say that you've had a 100% record against the world champion Matt Hauser, pretty big deal. Yeah. So growing up in Oxford, then getting into a bit of running and so on, what, I don't know, if you're of a sporty disposition, you're kind of doing well at school, at what point was there a moment where you went from like, okay, this kid's pretty good at sport to we need to get this guy into some sort of program or with some kind of coaching?
I wouldn't say I was sort of the best when I was younger. I mean, I started triathlon when I was, I think 7 or 8, after sort of watching the Brownlee brothers at 2012. So I think my first triathlon was in 2013. But I'd say I was all right. But like when it came to like sort of the nationals, IRCs, when I was sort of like 10 to 12, I think I used to come in the top 10, but I was never sort of on the podium or anything. I've always sort of probably trained a bit more than other people. So I feel like you don't really see the results from that till like sort of later down the line. So, I think I've just been sort of training hard sort of since then. I think it's only sort of really paid off now. I had a few good races sort of last year, but not really sort of internationally. It was mainly sort of in a super series scene. So I guess for British athletes, it's quite a lot different because we don't really do sort of the European Cups that much when we're younger. We sort of stay in Britain doing the Super Series. So I think we've obviously got a pretty decent sort of series there. So I think that helps quite a lot with sort of developing the younger athletes.
When did you start like dominating at the Super Series, or like when did it become clear to you that you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this and like go international and like make this kind of a career?
I wouldn't really say I've ever sort of dominated, but I think I won a few. I think I won a senior race. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. And I think that was sort of my first sort of big win. So after that, I sort of thought maybe I can sort of go on to sort of the European Cups and see how I go with them. I did a few last year, but for one reason or another, I just had a bad race, which is, I think Olsztyn, I had like a problem with my flight being delayed. So I got to the race like, I think it's like 4 a.m. before the race or something like that. So I just raced like terrible. So that wasn't really ideal. And I think just last year, I think I can only sort of name like maybe 1 or 2 races that were actually sort of decent. I just think I got quite unlucky. I don't know whether that was sort of, I wasn't really fit enough or just, I don't know. I sort of contemplated quite a lot about sort of last season because I think that's probably why I went straight into not having an off-season training straight away, just because I was quite motivated to sort of show what level I can sort of race at, because I just didn't really feel like I showed it last year. So yeah, it was just quite frustrating. So yeah.
How did you feel like the jump was from going from Super Series to like European Cups, or even like French Grand Prix?
With the Junior European Cups, they're pretty similar to the Super Series, but I'd say it's more just you're racing different people. When you're doing the Super Series, it's sort of the same people every year, so you sort of learn who's best at whatever and everything, and the races just pan out pretty much the same way every time. So like it's quite repetitive, I guess. So going to sort of the European Cups, you don't really know anyone that much and the races are different. So I think it's just really helps with the sort of racing skills in general. So
was it Poland 2024 then that you had the nightmare with travel? And
yeah, that was,
but still ran 16, 10, 5K there.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like the last few years I've sort of had like a sort of blocker when it comes to the run, because I feel like I could have run faster in the race, but I just couldn't for some reason. It's just like I couldn't really push myself, so it's just like really frustrating. But I think it probably just came down to sort of fitness. Like I might have had the running training, but off the back of the swim and a bike, I just couldn't really go anywhere near that pace. So I think over the sort of last year, I've really tried to work on the bike mainly and the swim, just to get it up so I can sort of run near the pace I run in training, because I'm less fatigued after sort of an easier bike and swim. So yeah.
Where you're training right now, like how long have you been in that spot for?
Ever since I joined uni, so probably 2 years, 2 and a bit years now. But I think the first year when I joined uni, I had an injury sort of February, so I had a stress response. So I took a sort of, I think it was a month off running, so it sort of ruined my season a bit last year. Yeah, I feel like first year at uni never really goes particularly well for one reason or another, just sort of because you're moving away from home and everything, and it's quite a lot different and a different environment. So yeah, I think I've sort of settled in now, so it helps quite a bit.
And do you feel like the training has stayed the same? Even I know it's hard to kind of compare since you had the injury and stuff, but has everything kind of stayed similar, or did anything change this last year? Or do you feel like you've just been absorbing all the training and being smarter with things? Or like, yeah, because there was a big jump, right? Like from last year to this year. So do you know?
Yeah, I'd say I probably bike quite a bit more now. I sort of try and do, I guess when I'm not racing, 12-ish hours of riding a week, so sort of 400k-ish a week, and then run-wise probably 90k, but I'm going to try and push it to sort of 100k over this winter, but I just have to see how that goes, because I don't really want to get injured. So I think I've sort of trained a bit, the training and the running, just sort of doing 3 sessions a week rather than 2, but one of the sessions just been sort of a zone 2 run. So it's not really that intense, but I feel like it just improves the running economy quite a bit. So just doing more biking, more harder riding. I sort of there's sort of 2 options in Nottingham. You can either go sort of south where it's quite flat, or you could go north and it's quite hilly because it's near the peak. So I try and sort of ride in the north quite a lot and push the bike really. So just trying to, get faster. So I probably train a bit harder than I'm meant to because, my coach sort of sets a pace and then I sort of always go a bit faster. But I think he knows I'm always going to go faster than the pace he sets.
Set it lower.
He probably sets it lower. It's meant to be so. But I think he's been pretty decent sort of with working with me sort of because I always sort of want to train more. And he always sort of wants me to train less, so I'm sort of fresher for the sessions. But I think we've managed a pretty decent compromise. So it's been working well recently.
That's Steve Lloyd, is it? At You're Nottingham Uni. And since you've been at university, this is where obviously when you started working with Steve, but the most intense training period that you've had, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it's been pretty full on since this time last year. I mean, I think I changed quite a lot of things. I sort of thought about nutrition quite a lot more. Like I think last year, for sort of the 5 months-ish, I was sort of racing. I was eating like the same thing every day. And it just kept on getting like so repetitive and boring. But I think it worked for me. So I didn't really want to change it. But I haven't really had it since off season because I just got so bored of it. I was just
what was it?
Training here. But I think for breakfast, I just had cereal. Lunch, I think it was like tuna and rice. And then for dinner, it was rice, chicken stir fry, rice noodles.
Just every day.
Bam, bam. And it just got, So, but I could have switched it up, but I think it was just one of those things where I just didn't really have to think about it every day and I could sort of just, I knew what I was going to eat every day, just could focus entirely on the training and uni as well. So, but I've changed it quite a bit recently because I just can't really go back to it at the moment. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask real quick a follow-up about the bike stuff just because I'm interested and the listeners will probably be interested too. But how many like harder sessions were you doing on the bike a week and how did you break that up? Like, were you doing group rides, solo sessions? Did you just have your buddies, like your training partners out there? And then also like, were you one of the not strongest and then became the strongest, or are you the strongest and have other guys, or do you have stronger athletes? Like, what do you prefer? And like, just talk through kind of like the bike week.
To be honest, I probably do most of my sort of easy zone 2 rides on my own. I think Tuesday was probably a 2-hour ride, sort of zone 2. Wednesday, I did a bike session sort of on my own. So it's sort of 3 hours, sort of threshold-ish efforts. And then Thursday was another 2 hours, sort of zone 2-ish. And then on Saturday, we do a chain gang together. So that would be with other people. So I think that helped quite a bit. And Sunday would be the long ride for 4 hours. So just going hard, to be honest. I don't really do a lot of sort of easy rides in a group where I'm just sort of doing 200 watts and not really pushing myself. I think I just quite like to sort of just push myself all the time, but I think that sort of probably doesn't help me sometimes because I end up just pushing myself too hard in sort of the easy sessions and then I'm dead when it comes to the hard sessions. So that's why I've sort of really tried to just keep a cap on the easy sessions, not going too hard on the bike and just sort of focusing on being fresh when it matters. So, yeah.
And for the chain gang, is that just your guys' training partners, or do you have like local guys on the cycling scene and like some pro riders and stuff? And what is that kind of makeup? Is it a structured kind of just rotation until you pop, or are there attacks? How's that group ride work?
It's just with the uni squad and the external athletes. So we've got quite a lot of external athletes in our squad now. So I think Tom Bishop, Sean Rainsley, I think Solar Crafe Smart. There's quite a few others. So they sort of join in as well. And I think it's usually it's on like a 12-ish minute circuit and it starts with a downhill and ends with a sort of like a 3-minute climb. So we do sort of 4 or 5 of them and it's pretty much just rotating till the last 3-minute climb and then just sort of max-ish up there. I quite like it because you can sort of just push it sort of on the last reps and see if you can drop everyone. So I think it really sort of helps sort of make you push to the max. So, yeah.
Last question about cycling, just because I love it. But on that group ride, when you first started doing that, were you one of the people that was like, ah, shoot, I got dropped, like I need to push harder next time? Or from straight out the gates, were you kind of one of the people that was like pushing from the front and trying to drop other people?
Uh, I'd say I've sort of, yeah, sort of always sort of been strong in the bike. So I wouldn't say I'm a lot stronger than everyone else. I think we're all pretty strong at the cycling. So yeah, I'm not too sure. I wouldn't say I was ever sort of the weakest, but I wouldn't say I was ever really that much stronger than anyone else. So yeah, sort of stayed similar-ish. So yeah.
Yeah, the only reason I was asking all those questions is because the races that I've watched you race, like
Hmm.
from not really having seen you much before,
Yeah,
you're just
yeah.
so strong on the bike. You're positioned so well. You're always on the front driving. Like it just seems like you've been cycling for like many, many years above how old you are. So, yeah, I was just impressed with the jump that you've kind of made this last year, especially on the cycling aspect. And we'll get into the run later because, yeah, you're world class. But I think, as you said, like working on the cycling allowed your run to kind of come to the forefront and be able to
Yeah.
execute that. So, yeah, thanks for sharing all that because I appreciate it. And hopefully the listeners do too.
When was the last time Tom and Sean were with you then in that group?
I haven't really done it for a while, to be honest, because we don't really do it that much over winter. It's more sort of a summer thing. So I don't think they've trained with us in the riding for quite a while because I've been mainly just doing my own thing. I haven't really gone too hard in the riding recently. I've sort of been trying to keep a cap on it and just keeping it sort of easy this time of year. But they swim with us pretty much every morning, so I see them pretty much every day. So yeah, I think it really sort of helps because I think I looked up to Tom quite a lot when I was younger. Sort of, I remember I used to sort of message him on Instagram to live good lucks before the race. So yeah, it's a bit crazy training with them. So yeah, it's quite decent. So
You raced Tom
Oh,
Bishop?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked up to him too. Yeah, mainly, I think the first race that I ever raced with him at, this story is gonna get kind of weird, but he won that race, and so that really like put him on the radar for me. Where I was like, who is this guy? Like he's like really incredible or whatever. But in that race, we were all in a breakaway, and I saw it was Florin Salvesberg, and he was just taking these monster pulls at the front of our breakaway. And I'm like, dude, Salvesberg, like he's not missing any turns. He's like going to the front, like he's filling all the gaps. He's there all the time. And then I realized when we started to run, it was Andrea Salvesberg and Florin Salvesberg. There was two of them. I didn't realize. And so I was like, I was with Tom Bishop and then the two Salvesbergs basically, and thinking that like, oh, this guy's a machine. But anyway, that Tom Bishop, yeah, he won that race. And yeah, I was like, oh, this guy's legit. So.
A case of double identity. So you said you had to take 3 weeks out of university around the World Champs. Obviously, the World Champs was only a handful of days because before that, it was tagged on this big GB camp, right? So, yeah, I obviously want to go into how the build-up camp for Wollongong was as well.
yeah, the camp before Australia as well was really useful just because they gave us really good tips on sort of the open water. Because I think we had Phil, the open water coach, he helped us quite a bit with the starts and everything because to be honest, I was pretty dreadful at them. I think every time we practiced them, I was sort of diving in about 2 meters behind everyone. I think that was the same in the race. So, but yeah, I think it's just also really nice just sort of not racing, training with people you don't really train with, just because usually you train with your university squad and sort of training with the squad going to Australia. I don't train with them all the time, so I think that was really nice as well.
To build into that, I guess, how were you feeling heading into the big one?
I sort of tried to just not really think about the race. So I think I only sort of looked at the course mats maybe, I think it's probably the day of the briefing or something, or the course recce, just because I feel like I do overstress before the races sometimes, and I think that sort of impacts my performance quite a bit. So I think this year's sort of been learning how to sort of cope with the nerves and just cut it to the side until it's race day when it actually matters. So yeah, I just sort of trying to have a good time, not really think about the race, just doing some decent sessions. And yeah, when it came to race day, then thinking about what I needed to do. So yeah.
So real quick follow up on that. So in like Karlovy Vary, what were the feelings leading into that race? Because that was your first series race, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
like basically nobody had expectations for you. Did you have high expectations for yourself? Like what were the stress levels leading into that race?
Uh, I wouldn't really say I had any expectations. I sort of just wanted to finish. I think before the race, I saw a few of the girls getting lapped on the run. So I was just hoping I didn't want to get lapped and didn't want to crash either because it was really slippy for the girls as well. So I think that was my main aim. But I think before I was just thinking how hard it was going to be pretty much because it's a really tough course. It's not really the easiest sort of WTCS to start off with. So I was just thinking about that and just trying to think about getting through the race. And then, yeah, didn't really put any sort of result expectations or results in my head. So, yeah.
Do you think that helped at all? Just kind of focusing on like process sort of things of like, okay, don't crash or like,
Yeah.
and then not like worrying about the overall race. Or like, is that how you normally approach races or is that different in any way?
Yeah, I'd say this year's been quite different because I think every sort of race I've gone into, I've sort of been like, it's sort of a privilege to be on the start line in the first place. So I haven't really put any expectations on. I was sort of in the World Cup as well and in the European Cup at the start of the year. So I didn't really think about putting too much pressure on myself. I just sort of wanted to race and just whatever happens, happens. So just see how it went.
The Carlo Vivari start obviously came about through your result in Saidia, right? The Morocco World Cup win. How did the first World Cup start come about? Because did you just win your first European Cup just before that?
Yeah, I think I qualified for the World Cup through Katira. It might have been a podium at Katira.
Yeah.
So I think the podium at Katira let me race the World Cup. And then I think the win at the World Cup let me race Calaveri. And yeah, so it's just sort of throughout the season, it was, I've done good in one race, I can do another race. And yeah, the season didn't really plan out at all how we thought it was going to plan out. So it's sort of just jumping from race to race because I can now race it. So I guess that sort of helped not having pressure just because, yeah, I guess I didn't really think I'd be in a position to race those races at the start of the season. So yeah, sort of just a bonus being there.
And it was a case of not wanting to pass up those opportunities, was it? Because, I mean, I guess a Europe Cup to World Cup, we've seen people kind of hit success super quickly there, but maybe there might have been a school of thought that was Carlo Vivari a bit too soon, especially on a course like that.
I think my coach really wanted me to do it just so I had a gauge of what I needed to improve for next year. Because I think the aim was for next year to sort of start trying to do the WTCSs. So that was sort of the main reason I was doing it, not really to get a result, just to see how I compare to the top guys in the race. So I think it's really helped because I do need to improve my swim quite a bit. So I need to work on that and just in the bike and the run because those guys are sort of next level, aren't they? So I really just need to up all three and yeah, hope for the best. So
do you think U23 Worlds was that field? How did that compare to a championship series race like Carlo Vivari?
I'd say the field was pretty up there because I think Martin Kropko, he came, I think it was a top 10 in way high in WTCS and Batista and I think and Mitch as well. And I think the under 23s though was just really strong. So, yeah, I mean, no matter what race I go into, I'm never really going to be the fastest swimmer. So I think the fact that there was such a fast sort of swim at the under 23 Worlds sort of, yeah, it's probably similar standard to the WTCS. So yeah, probably not as fast, but yeah.
Well, and I made the mistake in the pre-race interview with you of saying like, oh yeah, you're just going to be presumably wanting to hang on and stay as close to the front as possible. I had out of the water, and then there you were, like 5-6 seconds off Martin Kropko.
I'd say that I probably got really lucky with my starting position because I think it went Kropko, Mitch, me, and then Batista. So I was probably next to sort of the fastest keeps in the field. So I couldn't really have had a better starting position. So I sort of just got on the hip straight away and they dragged me around the swim. So yeah, I'm really grateful for them to help me in that swim. So yeah, I think I got quite lucky there.
I remember because I was taking pictures up by the lighthouse, and so I took pictures of the swim, but just the first lap, and so then I like ran out on the course, so I didn't know what was happening, and I couldn't hear the announcer or anything. But then I saw you in the front group come by, and I'm like, well, this race is over. Like, it was like, yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'd say I think Batista had a problem getting his wetsuit off, so I think he would have been in that front pack as well. So I think it would have been a really good run battle at the end. So it's a shame he missed out there. And I think Mattis also crashed on the bike, and he's a strong runner as well. So that was a bit of a shame. But
Yeah, I was thinking he's not someone that you've probably raced much at all. I don't know. Well, in Torremolinos, did you race him, or was he already?
I don't think he.
might
No,
not
'cause I
already.
think I was a junior.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's not a train. I think I raced him at a Super Tri Toronto, but I think my chain dropped on the last bike, so I didn't really have the best race. But yeah, so I think that's the only time I raced him.
Yeah. Your positioning on that bike, you were driving that bike, and you said earlier that you were trying to make life easier for you for your run by taking it a bit easier on the swim and the bike. But there was just there wasn't a lot of evidence of that.
Yeah, I think I sort of had to drive that pack because there was like sort of Reece Vannison behind, sort of Niels. No, not Niels. I don't think he's racing. Thomas Hansmeller. I think there's quite a few faster runners behind, so obviously didn't want them to catch up. So I think the safest position is at the front in the bike because you're not going to sort of get caught up behind the crashes. So I think that helps as well. So I just thought I might as well sort of try and drive the pack and get as much time as we could. So yeah, and I think sort of going into the race as well, that was sort of my plan from the start. I mean, I thought I'd be in the second pack, sort of driving to catch the front. So I think it's a bonus being the front pack, driving the pack instead. So yeah, I always had the plan of trying to sort of make the hills quite hard, sort of zap everyone's legs, and hopefully on the run it sort of zapped mine less. So yeah, sort of just getting everyone fatigued going onto the run, and I think it sort of worked out well.
Was there any conversation happening there? Because I know you were in the group with like Mitch and with Martin and stuff, and I know that there's no conversation that needs to be had. They're gonna drive it, but with anybody else in the group, like, was there encouragement going on, or like saying like, "Hey, let's keep rotating," or were you just like, "I'm just gonna stay at the front because if these other guys come through, they're gonna slow us down"? Like, what was happening?
I think most people were committed. I think there's obviously a few people that didn't do a lot of work, but I think that's mainly just because they were dying and they couldn't. So I think everyone was pretty sort of committed to the break and just going all out. So I think the pack worked really well. So yeah, I don't think there was really a lot of talking going on at all. Yeah, I think the hillier courses probably suit me quite a bit more because I think you can sort of show your bike strength a lot more on them. And I think I'm sort of a lighter guy than some of the big guys who've got quite a lot of watts, but obviously it doesn't sort of relate to going fast up hills as well. So I think that helped quite a bit, sort of feel my strength. So yeah.
And out onto that run, the pacing just felt right.
I'd say I do quite a lot of sort of my fast runs on my own. I think I have this summer because my main training partner in the run, Sol, he was injured for quite a bit of the summer. So I ended up doing quite a few of the sessions sort of just running out the front, doing my own pace. So I think it really helped sort of mentally get me ready for sort of racing on my own in races. Because I guess if you're used to it in training, you don't really need to rely on someone in races to do sort of the pace. So I think that helped quite a bit as well. So yeah, I think just really enjoyed the run, to be honest. So yeah, it was nice.
Was there any point where you were hurting in the run?
Yeah, I think I probably was towards the end, but I don't really know why, but I just kept on pushing. So yeah, I think I heard I think it might have been a lapish to go that had 90-ish seconds, but I didn't really want to stop just in case I had a cramp or something. So I sort of went all out to the end, and yeah, I think I only sort of realised properly that I won going on to the finisher straight. So yes, quite nice.
How did it stack up against, for example, Saidir, where you had obviously Tyler Mizlichuk breathing down your neck for the closing stages of that? But just watching it back, as you hit the tape, you still look like you're going so fast. Like there was I mean, obviously, but there was a bit of a gap by that point. But
Yeah.
you don't often get a sense of like sheer speed actually at the finish line, and that was red hot.
Yeah, I feel like at the end of most races, I'm sort of in disbelief that I've won. That I just keep on going because I keep on thinking someone's going to sort of overtake me again. I think I had the same problem in a French GP at the beginning of the year. I think I looked over my shoulder about 20 times in the last 100 meters because I just couldn't really believe I was winning. And I think I just go full gas then as well. And I had sort of like a 10-15 second gap. So yeah, I think it's just because I'm in such shock that I'm winning. I just keep on going. So yeah.
You were saying, Tommy, obviously you work with development athletes in the States, but as far as having the hype around young athletes and so on, and we were saying before you came on, Ollie, that with Alex Yee, people were talking about his run a lot more so perhaps than his triathlon in the very early days, and he was always like, no, I've always been a triathlete, that's my thing. And does it feel strange to you as well that the run has, I mean, it's the decisive part of those races, but it has really sort of snowballed hugely, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's probably half the reason why at Worlds I tried to drive the pack, because I don't really want to be known as sort of someone who can win the race just from the run. I'd rather be known as sort of complete triathlete who's sort of strong in O3. I think I've obviously still got quite a bit to work on in the swim because I'm nowhere near there. Unless I'm like sort of the fast swimmers on the start line. But yeah, I just really trying to work on all three, and so I can be the sort of best and most complete triathlete I can be. So yeah, I'm trying to not rely on just the run at the end of the race.
So that's great to hear, because word for word, I don't know if you know, but for like 10 years, I trained with Joel Filiol's group, with Mario Mola and Jake Birtwistle and Vincent Luis and Martin Van Rail and Jelle Geens and all them. And that was like the main theme of all the guys that were world champions or like on the podium at the World Championship Series is like, yeah, I don't want to be known as like just the runner. I want to be an all around triathlete. I want people to know that like I'm somebody who's dangerous in like all three disciplines. So hearing you say that, I know who's going to be on a top step of the podium at some point in their career.
Yeah, it's too nice, but yeah, we'll have to see. So,
but yeah, that thing of, I guess, keeping a level head while people are like hyping you up and so on, and it's inevitable that people suddenly start to think a couple of years down the line and big things on the horizon, right? You've got to just focus on 2026 being as good as 2025.
Yeah, I think that's sort of what I've been trying to do recently. I don't know. I feel like my mindset's always sort of on to the next race. Even if I have a good race, I sort of just forget about it and then just focus on the next race. I probably focus more sort of on the bad races and why like things didn't work out, because I think didn't have a great race. I think it's Europeans. For some reason, I just got dropped in the bike pack, and I don't usually get dropped in the bike. So I think that sort of really bugged me for a while, because, yeah, I sort of want my bike to be up there, and it wasn't on the day. So I think I really sort of worked on the bike since then.
It's this period, I guess, after the first year after an Olympics where you get these the new cohorts coming through, and we're able to see more of you because you're able to race more. Yeah, whether it's like you and Batista and even you and Denigro, obviously like super exciting young talent. Henry Graff has shown just what is possible as well, kind of breaking through at the moment. So there must be some sort of mouth-watering moments ahead for that are coming up as well.
Yeah, I think I've hit criteria hopefully to do Abu Dhabi, and I'll just have to see how that goes for getting started for the rest of the season. But yeah, it's mainly just going to be focused on the next race and not really thinking too far in the future, because I just want to have all focus on the next race. So yeah.
And real quick, back to Wollongong, because you were on the U23 relay, right? That one?
Mm-hmm.
And had you ever done a relay before, or was that your first ever relay?
I think I did the relay last year at Torremolinos because
Okay.
I think two of our under 23 athletes were ill. So, yeah, I had to step up there. And I think that was quite an experience as well because I think, Henry Graff came past me on the bike. I couldn't keep up with him. I think he started the leg in like, I don't know, it might have been seventh or something. And then he finished like at the front, I'm pretty sure. So I think that was half it was just down to overtaking everyone on the bike. And yeah, it's just crazy how strong he is on the bike. So yeah, I think that was sort of my first experience in racing with the under 23s. And yeah, it's pretty tough. So
Amazing that in such a short space of time, he's the one like setting the standard, isn't he, on the bike? Like he's going to be the kind of gold standard for the first few races next year, most likely.
yeah, I think, yeah, it's crazy in Calaveri as well, seeing him go off well, obviously didn't see him go off the front because that's in the pack behind. But, yeah, just how strong he is, even up the hills, even though he's quite a big guy, he's just sort of powering up them. And yeah, being in a break on that course must have been pretty brutal. So yeah.
Well, December has just ticked in. You're about to be wrapping up and heading home relatively soon. It must be a very nice feeling coming into a closed season as a U23 world champ.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. So sort of looking forward to just getting in the training, getting some consistency going, and yeah, hopefully doing all right in uni as well because I don't want to fail. So yeah, but thank you very much for having me on the podcast. So thank you.
Well, good. It's been great. Tommy, any last words of advice apart from make sure you have a good break this winter then, Ollie?
No, I'm just stoked to meet Ollie. Like we haven't really had a conversation, and yeah, I need to get to more races, take more pictures of you, so we can get your Instagram popping.
Yeah, I'm not really great on the social media side, to be honest. So I need to sort of get that going a bit more. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Ollie. Great to chat. Take
All
care and
right,
have a good
cheers.
Christmas. See you.
Thanks a lot, and thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.